Hey everyone, Chris here from IELTSadvantage.com with another success story. So Priyanka is one of our successful students and she kindly agreed to share her success with you guys so that you could learn from her and hopefully be successful yourself. So Priyanka, can you start off by just giving us some information about you, who you are, where you're from?
Yeah, hi, I'm Priyanka. I'm from India, but currently I'm staying in USA. And I'm an IT software engineer, but from last 3 years, I'm staying at home and taking care of my baby.
Hmm.
So for like 3 to 4 months, I was working on the IELTS exam, and I was unsuccessful when I tried in March. And finally, after joining Chris course, I can get my much needed score in May.
And can you share your scores with everybody?
Yeah, in March I got listening 8, reading 7.5, writing 6.5, and speaking 7.
Hmm.
And in May I got listening 8.5, reading 9, writing 7, and speaking 7.
Excellent. Those are amazing scores. So
Thank
a
you.
nine in reading.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, I was facing problem with two types of questions, which were true and false, yes, no, and the match the heading questions.
Hmm.
So I always face issues like in match the heading question mainly, but after watching your videos on these on these two questions, I was able to do it successfully,
Yeah. So
and I could.
will we talk about those? Will we help everybody? Because I think those are the two questions on the reading test that a lot of people ask me about.
Confusing.
Yeah. So let's start off with matching headings. What
Mhm.
would you say to someone who is struggling with matching headings? What advice would you give them?
First of all, I always used to do is like I always read the questions and all the headings which question is asking us to do, but we should not do that. We should just straight away go to the passage and read the passage, and with each passage we should give a particular idea of that passage, or write somewhere that idea, so
Hmm.
that in the last you can match it, what's
Hmm.
your idea and what's given in question.
Hmm. Hmm.
So after doing this trick, I was able to do it successfully. All of my questions were like, they're totally up to date. Like,
Yeah.
all are right.
Yeah. That's
Never
perfect.
wrong.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's exactly what what I suggest doing on the course. Is if you look at the list of options first, then it can cause a little bit of confusion, and you're thinking about the answers instead of focusing on the actual text.
The actual
So,
test. Yeah.
so focusing on the text and writing. Imagine you are writing the test and you have to write your own heading. So writing your own
Mm-hmm.
heading, and it's amazing how many of them not either directly match or match like 90%. And then it's so easy. Well, not easy, but much
Yes.
easier to just
Much easier to.
to match them up. Yeah, to match them up. And
Yes.
what would you say to someone about skimming in for matching headings? Did you read it very quickly or in a little bit more detail?
No, I read it more detail, but
Mhm.
you can do like, you can skim first two lines and last two lines of paragraphs
Yeah.
also. But I try to read it so that my idea should be clear. I should not like uh, skip anything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I read it
So
completely.
I think a big mistake with matching headings and many other questions is people hear that, oh, just skim, and they understand that they think that that means just reading everything really quickly, and then they don't get the meaning. They don't
Yeah.
understand the actual paragraph. So skipping it or skimming is a useful skill, but I think for matching headings, you shouldn't read it as quickly as possible because it's kind of
Yes.
so people are afraid of wasting time, but skimming actually does waste time because you
Yeah.
so say if you spend, let's say you spend 30 seconds reading one
Mm-hmm.
paragraph, but you don't understand it, you've wasted 30 seconds. But if you
Yes.
invest 1 or 2 minutes, then that's not wasted time because you invested that time in understanding what you need to do. So like, skimming is useful, but don't think that that's all you have to do. A lot of students think skimming, scanning, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, for true and false also, you should not skim. You should
No,
read whole
no,
paragraph and
no.
text and then only answer the questions.
Mhm. So what
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone? So the two most common questions we get about true, false, not given are like, the first question is normally, I've no idea what to do. And then the other question is normally, how do I know the difference between false and not given? What would you suggest to students for that?
If you have read the paragraph first and then you are reading the question, then it's really easy to know that it's not given in the paragraph, so it's not given.
Mm-hmm.
So you should mark it not given. But
Mm-hmm.
when something is there and you can correct that sentence, that means it's a false sentence, so you should mark it as false.
Mm-hmm.
There was one very confusing question in my question paper. Was in paragraph they have written that they have parking lot on basement as well as on first floor. And the question was, so parking lot is it true that parking lot is on 2 floors? So in in USA, they never consider basement as a floor. So it was really confusing that its parking lot is on 1 floor or 2 floors. Somebody marked it as false, but it was true, because considering that it is on basement and one is on first floor, so there are 2 floors
Mm-hmm.
or 2 levels. So
Yeah.
that's why it's true.
So that's a really important point, to not take any prior knowledge about the topic into the test into the reading test. So the reading test, you should just go on what the text says. So looking at the text and comparing it with the different options, and not using prior knowledge or exactly what you just said, just basing it, okay, is this true or is this false? If it's true, it matches up, it agrees with the
Yes.
option agrees with the text. However, if it is false, the option does not agree with the test. It's not correct.
Agrees with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think where most people slip up is they spend too much time looking for not given. So
Yes.
it's because they're looking for something that's not there. If you like, it's kind of like walking into a dark room and not turning, you're looking completely in the dark and spending too much time doing that. I think
Yeah.
for many students, it's about giving them the confidence to write not given. There's many students just keep looking and looking and looking and looking, and then they waste a lot
Yeah.
of time. Just if you can't find it, write not given,
Yes.
and move on. You can always come back and check it at the end.
Actually, I used to face this problem when I was not following this trick that read the passage before and then question. I was facing the same problem. But after using this trick, I will always be sure that it's not given.
So you
I have
always
to
read
mark it.
So you
Yeah.
always read the text first before looking at the options for true, false,
Yes.
not given. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just don't take the time to understand the text, because it is a
Yes.
reading test. It's testing your ability to read the text. And many people just immediately look at the questions and try and find the answer as quickly as possible without really understanding
Yeah.
the text. Because it's testing many different reading sub skills, but at the end of the day, it's testing, can you understand written, or when you're reading English, can you understand that? So understanding the text is crucially important. The other
Yes.
question that we get a lot about the reading test is time management. How would you respond to someone who's struggling with time management? Do you think that they need time management tips, or do you think it's something else?
Actually, I never faced problem with time management since I started practicing. Like from first day, I was able to complete my test in 1 hour. If it's too hard, also then also
Yeah.
I was able to complete it in an hour.
Yeah, that's
Because
exactly what I always say. I say band 9 students don't struggle with time management, because many of our students think that they can learn some time management tips or time management tricks, when really what they need to do is get better at doing the reading test, improve their reading skills, improve their vocabulary, improve their strategy for all the different types of questions. And if you do that, you don't need any
Yeah,
time management tips. So
yeah.
so it's
Each
great to talk to a band 9 student who agrees with me about about that. So
and
and
each type of question has a trick. Each type of question has a trick, like for filling the blanks or just answering a question. You can skim the paragraph. You are not able, like, you should not read whole paragraph, but like for the true and false and match the heading questions like that, you have to read the paragraph. So
yeah,
you should focus your time over there
yeah.
instead of the matching or filling the blanks
I'd
questions.
I'd say strategy rather than trick, because
Yes.
trick sounds like it's easy and you can cheat in some way. That strategy is a better way to describe it.
Yes, you
And,
can say that.
and how important was vocabulary to get a band 9 on the reading test? Was it important to have a good vocabulary?
No, I don't think so. It's fine. Like they in journal training, they generally tell all those topics which are like common to common people.
Okay.
They are not like tough. They're not
Mhm.
using academic vocabulary. They're
Mhm.
using a very general vocabulary. So
Okay.
it's really easy.
Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting that you think the vocabulary is easy, but I suppose that band 9 students would think that the vocabulary is easy. I suppose
I
that's
think
what you
like
think.
maybe my vocabulary is okay. Maybe like I am staying here for three more than 5 years in USA, so that's why I don't find
Yeah,
much
yeah,
tougher
yeah.
words.
So there's many
uh,
many students who struggle with the reading test. It's everybody struggle. You know, they should improve their reading skills and practice reading. But for many students, they really need to improve their vocabulary, because in order,
uh,
you know, to get a 7, 8, or 9, you do need to have a certain level of vocabulary. But it's interesting that you think that that's not important, because
yeah, because
I know
maybe here
I
maybe here in day-to-day life we are
mm,
using those kind of
of course,
words
yeah,
every day,
yeah,
with talking to many other people
no,
while we are going shopping or
mhm,
somewhere, we are using those kind of words.
yeah.
So that's why maybe I'm not feeling much
No,
important
I'm saying
from.
I agree with you, because it's obvious that you do have a good vocabulary. So you probably didn't realize how important it was, because you use it all the time, and you so
And yeah, I felt the same thing while when I was improving in writing, and I was doing much. I was focusing much on vocabulary for writing, and that way I can see that I have increased my understanding while listening also and while
mhm,
reading also.
mhm,
So that might be a case. So that's why I
yeah,
haven't focused much on the vocabulary on reading part,
mhm.
but I have focused on writing. So it
Excellent.
has improved my reading and listening also.
Excellent. So thank you very much for sharing your experience and sharing your success. There's a lot of students who are really going to benefit from that, because there's a lot of confusing and conflicting information about how to prepare for the reading test. So thank you very much for stating it so clearly for students. And what will you be able to do now that you've got the scores you need?
So I'll apply for the immigration process, and I'll start doing that now,
Will you
and I'll
stay in the
start.
USA?
Right now we are staying in USA, but we are trying to move to Canada.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so
So
now
we've
my
had so
focus.
many Indian people move to Canada. I think we're responsible for more Indian people moving to Canada than
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
else.
yeah. That's the case. Actually, in USA, the immigration process is becoming very
Yeah.
stringent right now. So it's better to move there.
Yeah, it's quite stringent in the UK and Australia as well. So
Oh,
Canada seems to be the most, you know, the place that's most open to new people moving
yes.
over at the moment. So just politics, really.
Yes, yeah, I know.
So thank you very much, Priyanka, and it was a pleasure talking to you and a pleasure helping you on the course. And thank you very much again.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for your support and help. I wouldn't have done it without you. So
You're
thanks
welcome.
a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.